I asked you to pick an emoji that described your current state. And then I went on a hunt to try to find a bath bomb that matched your green heart.
Oh, yes.
So here it is. It's yours to make a little blessing and drop in the bath.
Oh, it smells great. Is it lime or margarita or? I don't know, but it's good. Can I share something that really comes to the forefront of my awareness about masculinity? So growing up, I was actually quite feminine in nature, and I didn't know at that time. I was a young child, and then I believe grade 4, 5, 6, that's when my friends, my peers, my uncle actually, not blood uncle, but uncle, I don't know what they call it, but anyways.
Like close family friend.
Close family friend, yeah. One, I used to have my hand like this, and he told me, don't do that because it's very feminine. And then the older kids used to tease me and call me pansy. And then some of my friends told me to stop acting like a girl. So then I'm like, I didn't even realize I was doing this. So then I start to mimic, I guess, other men and my uncles in my life, and started to intentionally, try to be more masculine, and it became my nature. But then after I came out, I'm like, this is not really me. Came out when I was 23, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna really express myself how I want to express myself. With my clothing options, with my music tastes, how I danced, how I moved, and really embodied my feminine nature to the fullest extent, even probably embarrassed my parents. And was very public about it and very proud of my feminine side. And then as I was able to release that and really embody my feminine, my natural masculine side kind of came back in, and it balanced me out. And I feel like I have a good balance, a great balance, and I can draw in masculine energy, a healthy, a vulnerable, strong, grounded energy, and also very fluid, heartfelt, emotional, compassionate. Not to say that the masculine isn't, I feel like there's characteristics in both, but I guess, masculinity and femininity is just words for the mind. Just whatever energy I want to embody to feel balanced and harmonized, I can draw it in. So I'm glad I went through the experience of being told I was too feminine. Because I am here today, I feel pretty balanced in both energies. Yeah. I don't know if that even answered the question, but that's what came to mind when you asked the question. Yeah.
Thank you. That was so eloquently put, and there's so much there. Just thinking of even the bravery it took to come out at 23 and begin that process of the unraveling of what you had built around yourself, essentially disavowing certain aspects of yourself in order to uphold a version of masculinity that was imposed upon you. Which I think we're at a point where so many men are questioning, why is it that I do all these things that I'm supposed to do as a man and yet I don't feel fulfilled? Like one of the men said today, it's like I sit at a table and I eat a meal, and by the end I get to the end and I'm still hungry. What in your life, just to continue on this path, what in your life, be it a moment, a realization, a relationship, has had a profound impact on the man that you are today sitting in the bath?
Which specific relationships? Or,
if there has been a specific relationship that has helped you on your journey, if there's been a specific choice that you've made that has helped you kind of get on your path of becoming who you are today.
Actually, I'll bring in more present moment. I recently just came out of a long-term relationship a few months ago. And moving into the new year, I've decided I want to become more of on the receiving end. So I don't know, I don't even like to use the word masculine or feminine, maybe yin, more yin, and allowing things to come to me, because growing up, I was such a go-getter, very yang energy, masculine energy. And now I want to invite more fluidity in my life, be more on the receptive mode, have people give to me as well. I had a difficult, challenging time receiving. I think in the past, like when I felt like I was given something and I didn't attain it myself, there wasn't that much value because I didn't do it myself. I don't know where I got that concept, but now I deserve to be gifted and given, and it's just as worthy and it's just as powerful, whatever it is I'm calling into my life. I don't have to do it myself completely. If someone's willing to give, I'm willing to receive now. Yeah. And it does not make me less of a man or masculine, if you want to use those terms. Yeah.
You mentioned when you were talking about the masculine energy or the yang energy that you said vulnerability. So can vulnerability be a source of power? And can you give an example of a time in your life where you came to realize this to be a truth?
Up until I was 27, I had a really strong masculine front. Didn't cry. I was a rock for myself, for my family. And it was difficult to uphold. A lot of health conditions came with it as well. I felt very rigid, emotionally, physically. And when I was 27, I decided, you know what? I'm going to become more vulnerable. Actually, after I came out and I started to embrace my feminine side, I also got teased again. yeah, but more so from the gay community, my own community. Because there's even discrimination within my own community. And I saw that and I didn't want to be on that receiving end again. So I really started to become more rigid again. And then when I was 27, I started to realize I can't uphold this anymore. So I allowed myself to cry, to be vulnerable, to speak what I was actually feeling. And publicly as well. Yeah, even on Instagram, on Facebook. I know I went on a few lives just crying. Because I didn't want to hold back my tears. I didn't want to cry alone. I wanted to share it with people. Because if everyone can see where I'm at, then I no longer have to feel alone or like I'm hiding. So at that point, my parents were wondering, why is he going through this?
Why is he crying publicly here and there?
It's just because I didn't want to hide anymore. I felt alone. I felt disconnected from myself. And I felt if I just shared all of me, I could start breaking down those barriers between myself and I, between myself and others. And also to show people that they too can be vulnerable. Yeah. And I actually saw a ripple effect, a lot of great messages from friends and family members. I remember one time I was very vulnerable. I had a difficult time speaking in public, a difficult time forming sentences and words because I was such a nervous child. Wanted to be perfect, wanted to say the right thing, couldn't trip up over my words. Otherwise, people, I feel like, would judge me. And I went on camera and I just spoke my truth, and it felt liberating. And that was the beginning of like finding my voice by intentionally making the mistakes, going through the vulnerability, being open. And I feel like it's helped a lot of people. I've got some beautiful messages saying thank you for like sharing where you're at in your journey.
Wow.
Because it's inspired me to share where I'm at and accept me for where I'm at. Yeah. Giving ourselves permission. Just even like saying, I'm giving myself permission to feel this emotion or this emotion. Because I feel like for many people, especially men, you know, societal structures tell us this is how you're supposed to feel as a man. And if you can recognize that it's an outside, external conditioning, and then give ourselves our own permission to experience whatever feeling that we need to experience, I think that's like the first step. Yeah.
Permission giving.
Permission, yeah.
To self. And then what comes forth from that?
We never know. Yeah, once we kind of like unlock it, Pandora's
That's the
box.
scary thing, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of people is okay, permission, but what is in the cellar of self? Is it one long scream? Is it a laugh that you've been holding in for 10 years? What is it?
Anything can come up. Yeah, anything can come up. So welcome any emotions, whether it's comfortable, uncomfortable, heavy, light, laughter, tears. I feel like emotions, once it gets unlocked, it's like a roller coaster, and just to ride it. Not to be so much in it, but just kind of watch it flow through. That's at least how I experience my emotions. I like to separate myself from the emotion and watch it flow through, and even feel into it a little bit as well. But anything can come through because we never know what we've been suppressing deep into the psyche, something that needs acknowledgement, that needs our, our own acknowledgement. Because oftentimes we don't hear or feel ourselves, we just kind of lock it into a box. But the path of like moving towards liberation is going through these emotions, and we never know what's going to arise. Also having just a supportive, family or community or friends to support the process of feeling, because it can be scary, because a lot of these emotions that have been stored away have not been felt before. So it's foreign territory. So we don't know how to respond or react to it. So having, a group of friends or a partner who can be supportive, non-judgmental, non-advice giving, just to be present. That's it. Not to try to change, just be present for the emotions to flow through. I think that's a healthy way.
Is it true that men have a difficulty having other intimate male friendships?
It's true if they believe that. I believe that we do form our own thoughts and conditionings, and I don't believe that. Once upon a time, perhaps. But if we want to tell us or ourselves a new story and install a new belief, then we can tell otherwise. I have deep vulnerable, connected relationships with other male friends and colleagues. And we start to train that new thought, that new pattern until it becomes a part of us. Yeah.
We hear a lot about toxic masculinity. What is healthy masculinity, and how does one cultivate that?
That's a loaded question. Yeah, what's coming to mind first? It's a tricky question because now we're trying to define like what's masculine, right? But a good internal guidance that I use to see and feel if I'm in alignment with, let's say, a healthy masculine energy is if I'm feeling calm, at ease, grounded in who I am, strong, supportive boundaries that I don't cross, that I don't allow others to cross. I feel like those are some attributes of like a healthy masculine energy. Having the ability to create some space before we react or respond, just to feel what it is that we need to feel before projecting it on and out. I feel like a toxic masculine energy, just to satisfy the logical mind, we want to use these terms, is reactive and angry and just really quick. But I find if we just create that space just to feel what it is that we're feeling before reacting and responding, that's a healthy masculine energy. Yeah.
When you say the logical mind wants to use these terms, are you saying that these are big, varied concepts that we've neatly packaged into like a delivery system?
Yes, pretty much. Because who says that feminine energy can't be grounding or strong? Who says that feminine energy can't be supportive, you know? But I understand, the use of language, that we're trying to.
Do we need to overhaul? Like, how do we communicate on these things? Because I really do see this tendency towards reductionism, especially when it comes to the binary of the male and female and these attributes, right? But it's almost like we're not familiar with the language of nuance. We've lost that, and I don't know how we get it back.
It's been installed for many centuries. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with identifying that way, but yeah, I don't like to be boxed in, because growing up it was either too masculine, too feminine, too much like a girl, too much like a boy. I was just sick of it. I'm like, I'm just me. I'm just Eddy. And sometimes I'm dancing, I'm very fluid and, you know, like a drag queen or a ballerina. And sometimes I'm really, you know, just like linear with my movement and my language. It's whatever I want to express that day in that moment. Yeah.
Are you encouraged or discouraged by the world that you see around you currently? Like when you when you go out and interact, it's like looking at certain chapters of your life. It was times of rejection and times of coming out, breaking out of that. And the world accepting you to varying degrees, it seems, along the way as you self-actualized. Mm-hmm. When you step into the world now, do you feel accepted, or has that relationship with the way that you approach the world even completely changed?
It's changed. Now, truthfully, I don't really seek that acceptance or validation because I know who I am now. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy with who I am and who I've become. So to answer that question, yeah, the outside world doesn't affect. Yeah.
When once it did.
It once did, yeah. Stronghold on me, affected my mood. Yeah, every aspect of my life. And I decided I'm done. I'm going to accept myself for exactly who I am, where I'm at, however I choose to express myself. And once I was able to validate myself, then, yeah, just outside world, no more stronghold on me. Yeah.
What changed for you when you no longer needed the outside validation?
Mm. What changed? What got me to this place? Mm-hmm. A lot of awareness. Mm. A lot of awareness, identifying when I was needing that validation and choosing a new belief. So for example, if I was seeking validation, let's say through Instagram, right?
Right.
And this is a true thing too. Yeah. Even here and there, I would still catch myself. Mm. For example, if I share a very heartfelt message and it didn't land, and I noticed that old thought, was that meaningful? Then I would review it myself and just ask myself, was that meaningful to you? It came from your heart. It's your voice. It moved you, and that's why you shared it. Do you need anyone else's validation? And I say, no. And that's it. That's the internal dialogue, literally.
Yeah.
And I just leave it, and then it just disappears. It takes practice. But awareness, yeah, awareness. And that's something I've been practicing for close to a decade, consciously, yeah.
And how does that look? Because not everyone does that. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Stepping outside of myself and watching myself move, think, feel. Yeah, I'm stepping outside of myself and just watching myself.
Really?
Yeah.
The loving watcher rather than the judge.
Yes. Yeah. Some people call them their high selves. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like every decision that you made that allowed you to be who you are has got you here. And we'll never know the ripple effects of being who we are, but we have to believe that then that energy being put into the world is the kind of energy that calls forth others to be. Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I'm the career, the position, the job I'm in. Yeah.
And what is that? There's not, for those who don't know.
So I'm a psychedelic facilitator. I work with psilocybin currently. So I hold space, I'm present, and help people on really deep healing journeys to bring more awareness to things they've been storing away. And with psychedelics, you can't hide from them. They come to the surface, and it's for us to confront and to work through, to alchemize. Yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah.
And what have you witnessed through your work? What is something that, when you reflect, comes up for you as like perhaps the most important thing in what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. Helping people connect to self-love. Yeah, not just intellectually, but really feeling it. Big difference. And I think it begins and ends with self-love, yeah, and acceptance. And that's all parts, not just our beautiful parts, but our angry parts and our sad parts and our parts that are insecure. It's about making sure those parts are heard, are felt, are seen. Because I think growing up, teachers, parents, society judge those parts, and then we end up learning to judge our own parts and not being okay with anger. So for example, when we're not okay with anger, we don't know how to deal with it, so we lash out towards other people. But now, if anger arises within myself, I'll have a communication with that part without judging it, without trying to suppress it. Like, why are you angry, Eddy? What do you need from me? And oftentimes it's just like an energetic hug, just like, I feel ya. It's okay to be angry right now, and it'll pass. Yeah, so I don't suppress it. I don't get angry very often, but if any emotions or any parts of me starts getting triggered or emotionally charged, I'll shift all my attention to that part and make sure that part is thoroughly felt and supported and heard. Yeah.
And what you're doing with psychedelics for others, is that what psychedelics essentially did for you?
Psychedelics combined with, a lot of practice, meditation practice. Yeah, psychedelics alone, very powerful. Combine it with a mindfulness practice, a meditation practice, breathing, just takes it to a whole new level. Yeah, and integration. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to say while you're here in the bath? Anything that you feel has been left unsaid or that you'd like to call forth as final words?
Yeah, I'll share 12 beliefs I live by that I share with all my clients in my ceremonies, everything from self-worth to forgiveness. I'll share the 12, yeah.
Please do.
And I store them on my body, so if I need a reminder, I tap. For self-worth, Eddy, you are worthy of the best that love and life have to offer. Medicine of forgiveness. I forgive myself and others for all the wrongs done to me, and I take responsibility for my life. I know who I am when I love myself unconditionally. I'm content, grateful, and blessed to be me. This one's an important one because we feel like sometimes we're locked in our identity or a box, but we have the ability to let go. I joyfully release the past and welcome the best now and in the future. High self can mean something different for everybody. For me, high self is calm, courageous, brave, compassionate, connected, curious like a child. My high self is in charge of my life. So I always ask myself, what would my high self do? Just take a pause. What would my high self do? This is an important one because I wouldn't be here where I am today if I didn't go through the challenging life experiences. I learned from all my life lessons, including the difficult and painful ones. I welcome changes in my life, and then I ask myself, what do I welcome? It's very intentional today. I trust the choices I make. I also remind myself that there's no right or wrong choices, just lessons or blessings. And that's how I fine-tune my intuition, and I have the ability to try over and over and over again. And I trust the choices I make. And this one I love. It's a reflection point. I relax, do my best, and see the beauty in my life. It's something in the past I did not do because I was such a go-getter. I would just achieve. I never think I did enough. It was not enough. Because I didn't pause and just reflect and appreciate how far I've come. And when we do that, it's like, wow, we've come a long way. We really have. I relax, do my best, and see the beauty in my life because there's so much beauty to see. And then the final one I want to share is I call spirit. So spirit for me is like a weaving of the feelings and the energy of love, peace, and harmony, like a braid. Like when I hear spirit, I just see a braiding of love, peace, and harmony. I give my whole spirit to life and my whole life to spirit. So I give love, peace, and harmony to life, to all of life. Just every word I speak, every intention, action, I give love, peace, and harmony to life, and I dedicate my life to spirit, to love, peace, and harmony. So those are my 12 fundamental beliefs that I always fall back onto, that I share with everybody. And yeah, that would be the last thing.
What a beautiful gift. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. Glad I asked.